Your mind is for having ideas, not for holding them. I think that also applies to shopping. It's frustrating to start from scratch every time or to even forget something. So in this video I will show you how to build a shopping list that works almost automatically. Saves you a ton of time and you will never forget anything. For those who don't know me, my name is Leon and I've spent a lot of time in Notion, and here is a Notion shopping list. By the way, Notion agents just came out. This is a build without Notion agents. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to have builds without the Notion agent or with the Notion agent, or if you want to have a mix. So for example, a build without the agent, and at the end I will give you a prompt so the agent can build like 90% for you. Let me know in the comments if you want to have option A, B or C. But now let me introduce you to the shopping list. So what we have here is we have a new item button that adds something to this, so it's self-explanatory. Then we have a check view. And here, let's say you have more than one item. Here you can check, for example, do I have enough apples? Do I have enough bananas or whatever? This is literally a view where you have all your items invisible. Then we have a favorites view. And in this view, you can see items that are marked as favorites. When I go, for example, in here, I can say this is a favorite. And now this will show up here. So you can limit the items displayed here. And here now as our third view, we have a shopping list view. And here you have a view, and I will show you that later, that is also compatible for your phone. So you can literally see, okay, I need to buy 5 bananas, and then you can check this off and it will disappear. This is also grouped by the different stores. So if I now, for example, click on bought, it will disappear here and will show up here once again. And you can see bananas are also marked as favorite. They will show up here. If I don't want to, for example, have apples as favorite, I can check it off and you can see it disappears from favorites. So now we will build this, and later I will also show you how to use it on your phone, because this is adaptive for your phone. It's literally made for your phone, and there is one specific feature that makes it so powerful to use on your phone, but more to that later. Now let's start building. Go over here. I prepared a page, and here we now need to add a full page database. Select database full page. Then give it a name, and let's also give it an icon. In this case, I go for the shopping cart. Now we can press enter here, and we can press enter so often that it disappears at the bottom. Now we can once again go back into the database, and now we can start adding properties. So first we need to select a number property, and let's call it amount. Then what we need is we need 4 select properties. You can click here, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Now we have 4 select properties. So the first one we can call location at home. The second one we want to call measurement. Let's make this uppercase. Then the third one store, and the last one type. Now that might seem a bit intimidating and overwhelming, or you don't really look through this, but I will show you in a second how all of that works and it will make sense. Now we also need to add 3 button properties. Let's call the first one buy. Let's duplicate this. Then the next one bought, and let's duplicate it again and call this one home. Now we need 2 checkbox properties. Call one favorite, then duplicate it and call the other one out of stock. Now the last property that we need to add is a formula property. Now we are all set and we can start manipulating them. First, we want to manipulate the buttons, so the automation that they do. So first, let's configure this page. For buy, click on edit automation, click on edit pages in, then select this page and select out of stock and select checked. So now this button sets an item to out of stock, so it will appear on our shopping list. Then we can click on save and let's do the bought button. Also select edit pages in this page. Then for amount, just do nothing. And for out of stock, select unchecked. So now what this button will do is the amount that we set, it will clear it, and out of stock gets unchecked, so it disappears from the shopping list and reappears in our checked and favorite section. Now the last one is our home button. Here click on edit or automation, click on open page, click on shopping list hub, and then select full page. Now we can click on save, and now let's click on our formula property. Select, click into here, and then we can start manipulating the formula. What we want to display is we want to display our amount. Then click on plus and add this symbol followed by a space. This symbol, again, I actually don't know at the moment what this symbol is called. Then click on plus again. So now we have our amount followed by a space. And now we need our measurement. So this formula will display what you saw at the beginning in your shopping list view. It will display, for example, 5 units. Now we successfully manipulated our formula, our buttons. Now we can start building our views. First, we can build our check view. Just click on plus on table and give it the name check as well as our shopping cart icon. Now click on done, and then we can start by sorting it. First, we want to sort by location ascending and then by type ascending. Then we can also apply a filter by out of stock is unchecked. Now the last thing we want to do is we want to decide which properties we want to see. So now let's click on hide all, and we want to select amount, measurement, buy, and the store. These are the properties that we want to see. Now later we can also make the properties appear smaller. But for now, let's move on to our next view. The next view is our favorites view. And we want to also display this as a table. Here we can write favorites and click on done. Now we can start sorting it. We want to sort by location and then by type. Now for filtering, we want to filter by out of stock is unchecked. Now we can turn this into an advanced filter. So we have out of stock is unchecked as well as favorite is checked. Now for the properties, we want to first hide them all, then show favorite. Let's actually do this before the name. Then what we want is the amount, the measurement, the buy button, as well as the store. Now let's move on to our last view. But first, let me also give this the shopping cart item. Now click on plus, and now we want to build our shopping list view. For that, we want to have a gallery view. The first thing that we want to do here is we want to add a grouping. We want to group by store. So we want to create groups for every store. So let's say you go into store 1 first, then we want to group all the items for store 1 as a separate group, and so on. And in here, I would suggest to sort manually. So you decide which store appears over what, and you decide on your own sorting. Now for the sorting, we want to only sort by type ascending. For the filter, we only want to sort by out of stock is checked, which means that only items that are out of stock appear on our shopping list. For the properties, we only want to see obviously the name, then the formula, as well as our bought button. Now that we have all our views, let's call this shopping list and give it this shopping cart icon. I want to give you an example item. Let's call it Apple, and we can give it an icon. In this case, I want to go for the shopping cart item, and then we can go in here. In a second, we will also build a custom layout, but for now I want to show you this here. For the location at home, we can write, for example, kitchen fridge, so we know this is in our fridge kitchen, which also helps you to group. So if you make your shopping list, we have this group by location at home, so you can first check all your items in your kitchen fridge, then all your items in your kitchen, then all your items in another room by location, and so on. So you don't go into this room, check for this, into this room, check this, into this room, check this. You have it in an order. Then for the measurement, we can just say units, for example. So if I write 5 units, I know I need to buy 5 apples. For the store, you can just, for example, write Aldi or Walmart or any store in your location. You can use any store in your location. I want to go for Aldi. In this case, let's turn this blue, but you can also add any other store where you usually buy your groceries, for example, Walmart or anything else. Now, the last type that we need to select is our type property. In this case, I want to go for produce, and I want to give it a green color. So now, before we want to build the final layout, let's first create a database layout. Click on customize layout. Then first we want to go, in this case, for a simple view because we only have one database. Then for comments, I want to go for minimal, page discussions off. I want to see the property icons, and I want to go for full width. Then click into the heading section. I want to see our property labels, and for backlinks, I want to go for show on hover. Now we can start with the details and make this more personal. So first click into the property group on the 3 dots and move this over to the panel. Now we can first select our pinned properties. We can select 4. In this case, I want to pin the amount, the measurement, buy, as well as the bought button. Then I want to have one property as its own section. This is the home button. This will get its own section. You will know why in a second. In the property group, then we want to add 2 sections. First, we want to create other, and then we want to create background. Then drag background under here, and in here we want to have out of stock and formula, because these are the properties that are getting manipulated but that we don't change or that we can't manually change. In other, we have now the location at home, the type, the store, as well as our favorite checkbox. Now we are finished and we can click on apply to all pages. Now what we are going to do is we go to our main page, and here we want to create our new item button. So select slash and select the button property. Now let's give it the name new item and select the shopping cart icon. So what this button should do is it should add a page to our shopping list hub. And then we can remove this. And what we also want is we not only want to add this to the database, we also want to open the page that we added in our first step to open in SidePeek. And then we can click on done. The next thing is then write slash callout, and we can add a callout. In this callout, we now want to add 3 views. We want to add our linked view of data source, and here we want to go for shopping list. And here we can then select our check as our first view. Go here on hide database tab, database name, then click on add new view. Click on table, select our shopping list, select our favorites view, then click on plus again, table, but it actually doesn't matter, it's just a way to get here. Then go to shopping list, and here select our shopping list view. Now what we can do in here is we can make this smaller, like this size. Then let's say we want to have one, then we can make this smaller, we can make this smaller, we can make this smaller, and also this smaller. So now everything fits into the callout. We can do the same for favorites. For that, I want to mark this as favorite, so it shows up. Go into favorites, make this as small as possible, also shrink this and all the other properties. Now that we shrunk everything, we can go into shopping list, and here we don't need to do anything. So now let's move over to my phone. So now you have a shopping list. If you now also want to keep track of your finances, so what you spent and earned, watch this video over here, stay consistent,